Have you ever wondered why it is easy to manifest small things? It is easy to manifest free food. It is easy to manifest that free cup of coffee. But when it comes to manifesting your big desires, there's always a challenge, or it takes way longer than you want it to take, or sometimes it doesn't seem to come to you at all. Why do we have such a challenge when it comes to manifesting so-called big things, and why small things come to us so easily? In this video, we will go really in depth to look at what are the reasons why smaller manifestations come to us quickly, and what are the reasons why they evade us for the longest amount of time. So my name is Rohit, and I've been studying about law of attraction manifestation for years now, and my goal with this channel is to simplify manifesting so anyone can manifest their dream house, perfect health, dream relationship, whatever, with the power of their imagination. So let me go back to few years in my own life, and I will tell you this story which will, I hope this will drive the point home well. So long time ago, almost 10 years ago, my mom was big into the book The Secret, and it was very popular all over the world, and especially in India too. It was quite popular, and she was watching it, reading it. We had the DVD and everything, and I read it, and I'm a very avid reader. So when I read The Secret, there were so many authors. There was like Bob Proctor, Michael Beckwith, there was Esther Hicks, they even mentioned Neville Goddard. So suddenly I had like 10 more books to read, and Rhonda Byrne herself wrote the book The Secret and the book The Magic, and there was another book she wrote, The Power or something. So with all these books, I was like, okay, I need to now learn and know more, or what do I need to do? So I started consuming all their content. I started watching their videos, starting doing things, and I realized a lot of them gave these conflicting ideas, because some people would say you have to just imagine the end, or some people would say you have to constantly imagine. Some people would say you have to stay in high vibration, and some people will say you have to stay calm, unreactive. So I was kind of very confused, because you're coming from two different teachers telling you two different things. So what I decided, just to stick to one teacher for few months, really test out their teachings, and then apply it. My engineering brain was like that. I need to stick to one thing, really figure it out, really practice, really put it to test, and see if it actually works. It's like an experiment. So then I will take the notes of the experiment, then move on to the next one. And then that's what I did. I started reading the book. First started The Secret. It wasn't as practical, and then I started reading Magic. Magic was very practical, and in essence, Magic, the book The Magic, is all about gratitude. You are being grateful for things you already have in your life. At least for the first 3 weeks, Rhonda Byrne, she only focuses on the things that you are already grateful for. You already have it in your life, right? So I started writing, I'm so happy and grateful that my mother cooks delicious food for me, or I'm so happy and grateful that I receive free food, or I'm so happy and grateful that my health is in great condition, or I'm so happy and grateful that I can run so many miles. I used to do a lot of running. I used to play a lot of sports at that time, and guess what? My performance in every area improved, not by a huge margin. Let's say I was able to sprint quite fast. It improved by 10%. Right? So there was an improvement in every single area I was grateful for, and I was like, okay, this is magnificent, this is great, this actually works. But I was like, when am I going to get to those big things? When am I going to get to those big desires? Because Rhonda is only telling me about this. So, and then I think after like day 21 or 22, she later on in the book, she mentions that you can now imagine already having those big desires. Let's say you want to manifest a house. You can now imagine living in that house, manifesting that big desire, living in the end. Okay, manifesting that big house and living there. So you visualize yourself being in the end, living in that house, manifesting being there. And or like money or good health, you could do that. Now this is where the challenge came, because all this while, all the things which I already have, like my mother cooking delicious food for me, I receiving free food, I could sprint faster, all these things were actually true in my world. So I didn't have, first of all, I didn't have any conflicting assumptions or beliefs. It's like, okay, this is not true. This is not true. Okay, this is great. This is not. I didn't have any conflicting belief, because when you're imagining being in a house, there's an element of suspending judgment, as Neville calls it. We have to suspend this reality and enter a new reality where we already have this house. So this element of suspending judgment, Rhonda was not very clearly able to define how to do it. She just said the best time is to do these exercises in the morning. In the morning we are more relaxed, so it's easier to visualize, or do it in the evening when you're going to bed. It's easier to visualize. Same thing. But at the same time, when I try to visualize myself having a lot of money, or myself having a big house or something like that, and I really struggled with it. I had a hard time, very hard time, because I wasn't able to suspend the judgment. I wasn't able to make it feel real. It did not feel real. It always felt, a part of me was like, okay, that's not true. What you're talking about is not true. So the first thing, one of the biggest reasons why people are not able to manifest their big desires is because they're not able to suspend judgment. To suspend judgment, you have to drop this current reality completely and you enter the new reality. For that, if you need to take some deep breaths, if you need to meditate for a minute or two, or if you need to count backwards, I've seen it works for some people. Some people do dynamic meditation. They like shake their body and do the dynamic meditation for a minute or two, and then they visualize. There are many techniques you can do. Some people do Tai Chi, or some people do chakra meditation. There's so many things. Whatever works for you, do that for a couple of minutes. Relax your body, and then you enter into a new state where you have to suspend this judgment. If you take this reality into the new reality, your brain will be always cross-questioning you. They'll be like, oh, you don't really have the house. You don't really, because we haven't totally suspended judgment. And with more practice, this thing becomes faster. So that's why when people get good at manifesting, they're able to manifest faster and faster and quicker and easier, because they are still practicing and they have become very good at suspending judgment. So once they become very good at suspending judgment and they get closer to their reality, and they are able to enter into this reality where they don't have any conflicting beliefs or assumptions telling them, it works. It just works very comfortably, easily. There are no conflicts. It's a smooth sailing, it's a smooth ride, and you get to your end. So that's one thing, is you need to relax yourself and you need to practice yourself so that you're able to suspend judgment. There are no judgment. You're not judging how it's going to come. You're not thinking, okay, this is not true. You're not thinking, okay, it didn't happen for my family members, or it didn't happen. There are no kind of conflicting beliefs or thoughts in your mind, especially when you're visualizing. Throughout the day you might have it, that is okay. But when you're visualizing, a few minutes in the morning, few minutes in the evening, at that time you have completely suspended judgment. Okay, the second point, and this is a very crucial point, I want you guys to really take it to heart. This is a very common thing I've seen with a lot of clients, a lot of people who reach out to me, a lot of people, is they are so obsessed about that big desire that they never really drop the seed they never really let it go. Once you have impressed your subconscious mind, this is the biggest difference I saw between teachings of some teachers and other teachers, is a lot of teachers like Esther Hicks and others, they talk about holding on to desire, feeling as if you already have it, and constantly being in that state. When you're constantly in that state, there might come a point where you are so comfortable with that state, the sense of obsession drops by itself. You don't have obsession anymore. Okay, this obsession you had, I want to get it, it's not there anymore. You have dropped that obsession. So it might happen naturally. Or other thing might happen is the emotion just goes out of it. It feels very natural. It feels like, okay, you are already there, and it doesn't even make any sense. So even your logical brain is not obsessed about it. So in one way, shape or form, the sense of obsession is gone. But for 90% of people, they are not able to drop this desire. They are still constantly obsessing about the desire, and it doesn't come to them. So I will give you this example. I wanted to earn extra $1,000. Okay, just on top of my income. I have a pretty good income. I live in Southeast Asia. That's a pretty, I'm in a pretty high end bracket. But I was like, okay, I want to manifest that. I want to, live in the end. I want to manifest being right at the very top. Okay, I want to make extra $1,000. But the thing is, at the same time, I was so obsessed about that goal. I was so obsessed, like I want to make that extra 1,000. I was visualizing it every day I was doing that. And there was a point when it came, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I wasted so much time on it. I should focus on my relationship. And I totally let it go. I didn't even think about it. Then I started visualizing with my relationships. And within a couple of months, I have few books on Amazon. Their sales just shot up through the roof, and they started making $700, $800, sometimes more than $1,000 a month. It wasn't exactly $1,000 every month, but it was in the ball bracket, and I was like in that area, okay, in that range, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. It happened. And then I kind of backtracked and thought about why it did happen. One of the biggest reasons why it happened for me and for others was very simply this: I let it go. So once I obsessed about it, I wanted, I was so desperate, I had this desperate energy, but I had impressed my subconscious mind. But the problem was I wasn't letting go. I wasn't really dropping the seed, as they say, into the ground so that my manifestation can take shape. And when I started focusing on my other desire, and I was like, okay, this thing is not coming, I'm just gonna drop it. I've manifested so many things, but still there was an element of disbelief. I'm like, maybe this thing doesn't work for money, it works for everything else. For some reason it doesn't work for money. And I just dropped it. And when I started focusing on other desires, in just a couple of weeks, the book sales just took off through the roof. I just made minor ad changes, which felt very natural to me. I didn't do anything extraordinary. I didn't do anything out of this world, but I was able to get these things. I was able to create these desires, get all these things into my life very quickly, because I was finally able to drop it. And this sense of obsession was gone. And finally, this is another key thing which I remind a lot of people struggle with it. I made another video about this, is how to stop reacting. I'll post the link in the comment section below. It goes in more detail, but I'm just going to quickly go over it. The thing is, when something goes against in your 3D world, let's say you desire promotion and your manager calls you in and says, we are not happy with what you're doing, whatever parameters, KPIs they measure you against, they're like, okay, you're not doing well in this area, you're not doing well in this area. So in that point, you might feel like, okay, this is the 3D world is going absolutely against me. I want a promotion. My manager is saying I'm not doing a good job. How in the world am I going to get a promotion? This is not possible. So what do people do is they react, and these reactions get impressed on the subconscious mind, and more of these events happen, and eventually it completely either backfires or completely derails their manifestation, or it takes them forever to get their manifestation. Takes the manifestation which could have come in 2 months, takes them 2 years, because they're constantly reacting. So the key here is to be unreactive. When these events happen, remind yourself this is just a bridge unfolding. It doesn't matter what happens in the middle. What really we need to focus on is the end. And if I'm already at the end, these middle events, they don't have to matter at all. And I just remind myself, I just focus on being present to the moment. I just center myself and I just let these things go. And eventually all of these things unfold and I get my desires. So these are the common challenges most of manifestors face, most of my clients or viewers face over and over again. And I'm surprised that there's so many channels on manifesting. There's so many people who talk about manifesting, but they still don't understand the common challenges their clients or their viewers face. That's why I wanted to put it out there. And if you really want to understand these things, it is very simple. You can go back and watch this video a couple of times again, because I really want all of you guys to get it, so that you start making progress, start going towards your big goals, and you're able to manifest your big goals as well. So I will also drop my email link in the below. Some of the people have reached out to me, so if you want to reach out to me, feel free, send me an email if you need additional help. And in the meantime, if you really like this video, give it a like. There will be some recommended videos up here as well, and if you really want to watch that video in depth about how to stop reacting, I'll post it in the description below as well. Check that video out as well. Until then, I wish you great success on your manifesting journey, and I will see you in the next video.